Hey everybody, welcome back to Magic Orthodoxy. My name's David and this is a Magic Review. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. We are deep into the Royal Road to Mentalism reviews. Today, we're looking at all 12 episodes. That's right, doing 12 videos today, uploading 12 videos because I just felt like every single one of these episodes needed its own review, right? If you go to the product page for Royal Road to Mentalism, Ellusionist, Peter Turner, Mark Lemon, you don't see a breakdown of what every single video covers. And if you look for reviews, there are reviews out there, but they don't cover like every single episode and kind of break it all down. And I just felt like the project is so massive. Peter Turner and Mark Lemon put so much time into this. It really is a labor of love. And I felt they did the work, so I should do the work, okay? So 12 episodes, 18 effects. You're gonna get 9 hours of jam sessions, $120 at Ellusionist.com. What is Volume 9 about? What's Volume 9 about? This one was an interesting one. Interesting, because what happened was the two of them flew together to meet, and they didn't really like sit down and hammer out a plan for this video. So they kind of left it up to fate. They had the book, Royal Road to Card Magic, out on the table, and they allowed somebody else to just randomly insert a billet into the pages and find a trick. And the two of them then devised a lesson plan based off of that one trick. And what they arrived at was, let's do a whole episode about hecklers, okay? So people who are either trying to mess you up on purpose, people that call out like, oh, if you're a mind reader, then do this, right? They try to change the subject or try to create their own trick. Or skeptics, right? Because you don't have to be a heckler to be a unbeliever, right? You don't believe, or you're dabbling into something. You're saying like, oh, I'm gonna do psychometry, or I'm gonna do ESP, or I'm gonna do like automatic writing, and then someone says, well, I don't believe in that, right? They're a skeptic. So what do you do in those situations? How do you handle skeptics? Now you might say, you know what, that's never happened to me. I've never come across a skeptic. I've never been heckled. If that's the case, that's probably great. I think the longer you are in magic, especially in settings where you're not with friends and family, okay? I do a lot of friends and family magic, or at least in the community where people know me. So I rarely get out into situations where there's people that don't know me at all. I've never been hired for an event where nobody knew who I was, right? And I think if you go into those situations, especially when some people are drinking, you might get people who are a little bit more bold, who want to challenge you, right? Or who just flat out just call you out and say this is fake, or oh, my kid does that trick, or my friend showed me that trick once, and blah, blah, right? How do you handle that? Especially with mind reading, which, I mean, we've been telling people for years that this isn't a real thing, right? People in the back of their mind already expect that this is fake, right? So what do you do in that situation? So because there was no lesson plan with this one, Mark Lemon and Peter kind of like freestyle the whole video. So in the past, they've done like maybe a trick and an explanation, or like maybe a method, and then they do the jam session. This video is 4 jam sessions put together. And they go back and forth between maybe Peter leading one and Mark leading one, and they go back and forth between the two of them. So there wasn't really any scripting in this at all. It is all very freestyle. There's no tricks to learn in this. And again, they don't change location. The two of them are seated. They got a table in between them. There's a colored curtain backdrop back there. And that's pretty much it. It's all just filmed as one large jam session. Jam session number 1 is about hecklers and difficult spectators. Like, these are the people that are trying to mess you up. right? Not necessarily skeptics, but they're people that are on purpose saying, oh yeah, we'll do this, right? And then part 2 kind of picks up from that, and it's the, what if the spectator picked something? They said, well, I'm thinking of a card. Read my mind, right? They're choosing what you should do. Instead of you being in charge, they try to act in charge. They try to take command of the show away from you, and they tell you how it should go. So part 2 is more like thinking on your feet, and instead of you saying, no, I can't do that, right? Which you don't want to do. You don't want to make it look like, no, I can't do that. And they talk about the difference between pre-show work and stooges. And we might think they're the same thing, but they start to define the difference between the two. And they piggyback off of that into part 3, where they talk about creating problems on purpose. So in your pre-show or in your stooges, how can you create chaos? Instead of waiting for a heckler to appear, right? Or crossing your fingers and hoping a heckler doesn't appear, could you create a heckler? Could you create a skeptic as pre-show, as a stooge, who kind of acts as that voice to make it look like there's chaos happening in the show, to where you are like, oh, chaos, and then you have to think on your feet? But what if you created the chaos on purpose as a way of discouraging other hecklers, but then also as a way of showing, look, this is real. How could he have planned for this, right? She never would have known, somebody in this audience would have asked this question. How do you plan for that? How do you turn a stooge into a heckler on purpose to create those little bits of chaos? And then part 4 was Mark talking about, well, how do you fix the problem before it ever starts? How do you make it all a part of the show? And maybe if you're in a bind and you're unsure of where to go, maybe somebody's presented you with a challenge and you're like, I don't know what to do. How you could default to some things that you kind of already know, like playing cards, for instance. You know playing cards. You probably don't do playing cards, but if you had a deck of playing cards, how you could use playing cards as a way to get out from underneath a heckler's challenge. Something that you could do, or a one ahead, right? How can you use the one ahead method to get out from underneath a heckler? So there was a lot of tips in here, a lot of advice. Like I said, it was very freestyle formed shot. Personally, for me, this one probably was my least favorite of all of them so far, just because it didn't feel like there was some structure there. It's also not a subject matter I ever have to deal with, because I don't get heckled, because I don't really perform for a lot of strangers. So this one was probably the least appealing to me, least interesting to me out of all of them, but I see the need for it. I see the need for it, and I understand why they had to include it. Maybe it just would have been better if they had taken some notes and maybe kind of structured how they were gonna talk about it before they did it. Maybe that might have helped maybe the flow a little bit, but yeah, that's really everything I had to say. I hope you're enjoying these videos. I hope I'm answering questions for you, helping you make the decision or the choice as to whether you want to pick this up for yourself. You can always do me a favor, hit like, subscribe, and follow. That helps me out a lot. And head on down to Ellusionist.com if you'd like to buy this for yourself. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey, did you know there are over 300 videos and reviews that you've never even seen here at Magic Orthodoxy? It's true. And if you join the membership section today, you'll get unlimited access to that exclusive content. What are those videos? These would be the magic tricks that I buy with my own money. These are the tricks that I want, the tricks I am the most excited about. All you have to do is click the join button on your screen. And there are 2 exciting ways to join. For $2, you'll get access to 8 extra videos a month, 8 brand new videos a month. And for $5 a month, you'll get access to 12 new videos a month. Not to mention, you'll also be part of an exclusive community of almost 500 other magicians. And if you can't find the join button, I will put a link in the description of today's video. Thanks, guys. Bye.